Alright, so I've got a real simple derivation today. This is about a proportional control. So this is for the 3 tanks in a series, which was my last video. And now we have, since we've realized that, well, we actually want to be able to control where this height's going without just controlling the flow rate. We want another control system. Alright, I get to use a Crayola today because, well, there's not a single one that works here. Alright, so with these proportional controls, we have the H3, and we want to have a set point. And with that set point, we want to be able to, and with that set point, we actually want to differentiate between the real H3. So there's the beginning of here. And let's see, that probably is too light of color, even though it's literally black. Alright, so we've got our third height set point and our third height. We need to subtract that. And then this is only going to be in meters. So we want to actually come up with a proportional control, Kc, that'll take it to volume because Q is a volume term. And since I mentioned Q, might as well, this is going to be equivalent to our Q in. But what might be lacking with even this equation is it doesn't accurately take into account the fact that we actually are already at steady state. So if I was to simulate this, it would drop off dramatically and the tank levels would be at like next to nothing. So we actually do have to add in our Q naught, Q in naught. I think you can still possibly see that, but if not, I'll work on that in post. So yeah, this is our derivation for a proportional set point equation. And this is the only differential equation we have for this thing. Alright, so as some of you might recognize, I'm back in my original recording area. That's just my original room. Alright, so in order to start this, all we're doing is adding in 2 things. Well, 3 for this proportional controller. So we need a set point for tank 3. So I believe it is 10% increase from the original third height. And then we need, it's H naught. Alright. And then we do need a Kc. So this Kc is going to be our controller, and I'm going to set it to 0.01 first. And the last thing we need is to add Q in is equal to Kc times, I have my notes written right here from the whiteboard, and it is Kc is equal to H3 H3 set point minus H3. That's where I got that from. And then plus the initial Q in, because if we didn't have that steady state, then it would be defunct. Alright. And so now we should see something very different when I do the plots. Yep. And that's what we're supposed to see. And I can't really zoom out on that. Whoops. Okay, thank God. Alright. I'd be panicking there for a second. Okay. So now we're just going to get to play with Kc. Alright, let's make Kc extremely small. Let's see. Whoopsies. I think it's Shift Enter, Shift Enter, Shift Enter, Shift Enter, Shift Enter. Yep. Alright. So Now that KC is very small, it moved next to nothing. That is next to zero change. And now, let's make KC very large. Oh boy, well, I guess the tank's exploded. Let's see. No, they immediately exploded. That's not even... Wow. Okay. So you can see why this stuff is extremely important. Yep, and now it's moving still next to nothing. And I believe a 10% increase for this should put it around 5.5. So, as much as I can play with KC, no, here, I'm adding way too many spaces by not pressing shift enough. Alright. Oh, I can just hold shift. Okay, so this KC is not going anywhere anytime soon. I don't know what the actual value to make it work well would be, but I don't think, yeah, I don't think it's something that we really have control of. Oh, well, it gets closer to the set point, but it squiggles quite a bunch beforehand. Alright, so I think this is a good simulation for this of why just proportional control is awful. There are two other types of controls commonly used, integration and derivative control, and those are beyond the scope of this problem. But I feel like at some point I'll be needing to use those.